What's going on, guys? Casting4 here today, back again for another video. Once again, first and foremost, I just want to apologize. There would have been another reaction up today, being the Try Not to Laugh with Water in Your Mouth challenge, which I recorded and edited fully last night. But my phone's been malfunctioning all day as well as last night. A bunch of audio clips went missing. Video clips went missing. It couldn't process it. iCloud was all jacked up. It's just a mess. But, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be posting that. It's just too much of a struggle. I've tried my best to do everything I could. I thought I had it earlier today, and then, again, it just took me right back to step one. But, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be posting that today. But today I have another reaction for you, which is what I'm going to do right now. But, I'm going to mention one more thing. If you didn't see my reaction I posted last night, it was, of course, of Lyrical Raps featuring Michael Green and PFV. Doing Michael's new track called Dear Dad, which is a new music video that he released just yesterday, and it was a song that he wrote the night that his father, the angry grandpa, or Charles Green, passed away. So it's a very, very emotional track, but it's a great tribute, and it's really powerful stuff. So I encourage you to go check out his original video, and if you have the time, please check out my video as well. Feel free to look at that, and possibly subscribe and like to the channel. Of course, subscribe and like Michael's channel as well for more updates. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I have as far as that goes. I just want to say, oh, also for that, Michael did comment on that video, the Dear Dad video, which is incredible, all in the fact that not just because, he commented, just because of the video. I'm just really glad that he got to see my thoughts on the video, and everything in his channel, and just how it's changed, just my thoughts on everything really based around in and around his channel and the Angry Grandpa Show channel. I just really appreciate him taking the time to watch it and comment on it, so I just want to say thank you very much. I just want to keep it brief, but I really, really do appreciate it, and once again, offer my prayers and condolences in this time of grief for you as well, and I hope that us fans are helping you do that. But anyway, right into it. Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to none other than Mr. Nightmare himself, his newest video. It was just released, I believe, the other day. Yeah, it was released just yesterday, I think. Let me see. Yeah, 1 day ago. It was released yesterday. And it is, of course, called 3 Disturbing True Craigslist Stories, Volume 5. I'm sure I've seen a few of the other Craigslist ones in the past. I haven't reacted to them, obviously, but I've seen them. But, yeah, as if Craigslist isn't fishy enough. But, anyway, guys, Craigslist Horror Stories, Volume 5. Let's go right into it. Starting now.
I live in a small town called Julian in California. I had started renting an apartment in some guy's 2-family house. I was browsing Craigslist daily for some cheap furniture to fill the apartment with, or maybe even free furniture if I was lucky.
He's out in the middle of the woods.
For specific items like a living room couch and TV stand, I stumbled across an ad titled in all capitals, "Giving away Maplewood TV stand, mint condition." The ad obviously caught my eye, so I clicked it in a heartbeat, with the first thing I checked being the date of posting. It said it was posted a couple hours ago. This was a very good sign. The ad had a picture of the stand too. It looked pristine. The description gave an explanation as to why the owner was giving it away.
See, the bad thing about this, the thing that's so awful is you can never trust anything on Craigslist. Especially because there's no guarantees or money-back guarantees or any policy-specific things set. I'm sure they have a few guidelines and rules and stuff like that, but who's to say those are going to be enforced thoroughly with stuff like this, You already know this is going to go bad. They've got, a picture up there. They've got a description. Let's see. Yeah, they have a convincing description, They're talking, and it just seems casual. It seems normal. It doesn't seem anything fishy about it, but, you never really know with these things like Craigslist, so you really have to be careful or just don't use Craigslist at all. That's just my thoughts on that. Just looking at that, I mean, I wouldn't think it was fishy, but then again, going on Craigslist, anything could really happen, so I would know that anyway. But I really feel bad for this guy, the fact that he's getting tricked here, or whatever's going to happen with it.
Apparently her boyfriend was going away to the military and didn't have room to store a lot of his furniture, nor did he have time to sell it, and she would be moving back with her parents. There was a number attached to the ad which said call or text. I shot the man a text expressing serious interest in the stand. First thing I noticed was the green text, meaning he didn't also have an iPhone. That was always annoying to see because usually that meant the person would take longer to respond and I couldn't see when they were typing. However, the person got back to me surprisingly fast.
Another red flag.
She introduced herself as Anna and said I could come take a look at that stand the same night at 9 when she would get home from work, if I'd like to. I got back to her within 10 seconds saying, yeah, absolutely. She sent me her address. I thanked her and she didn't respond after that. Come 8 o'clock, I sent her another text just to confirm that I could still come.
I bet she's one of those phones that they can get rid of really quick, like clones, or like ones that don't, you can't track.
So I decided to call her. It rang 5 times, then went to voicemail. I didn't leave a voicemail, but she finally texted me back a few seconds after I called her. She said you could come now. So I put the address into the GPS, hopped in my car, and off I was to the destination. I pulled up to the house and knocked on the door, so she said don't ring the doorbell. I gave the door 3 sets of knocks to no avail.
His editing is superb.
I tried calling her. Again, she didn't pick up. But after the call didn't go through, she sent another text, telling me to just let myself in. I stood there for a second.
Okay, at this point I would be questioning it.
At least 3 different times
Really
before responding
questioning
back. Is there a problem? I thought it was weird that she was telling me to let myself in.
Yeah.
She didn't respond
So
to that text though. So after a few seconds of thinking it over, I grabbed the doorknob and pushed open the door.
Yeah.
It made a very distinct and alerting sound, so I was positive Anna could hear it from wherever she was. I shut the door.
Yeah, wherever.
It was on the darker side in the house, mainly because it seemed like a lot of the curtains were shut. It also had a very distinct, mildewy, cottony smell. I heard a voice call out from upstairs telling me to come up. I said, alright, be right there.
No way. There's no way you're gonna listen to a voice from the dark upstairs tell you to come up.
Halfway up the stairs, I called up, Anna, right? She replied back, yup. Again, her voice sounded odd. I got to the top of the stairs, and there were 2 sides of the hallway I could go down. I playfully called out, which side, with a slight laugh in my voice.
See how many rooms are there?
I was finding the situation incredibly sketchy. Anna's voice came from the left side, from beyond an open bedroom door. I walked to the doorway and stopped. I didn't enter the room, though it was a massive room mostly void of furniture. I poked my head into the room and didn't see anyone. Anna? I said. No answer.
It's an abandoned
house. I was already
house.
inching back away from the doorway. Anna, I said one more time. This time she replied, over here, just come inside. But it sounded like she was right behind the open door.
No.
And now I was realizing what was off about her voice. It wasn't a she at all.
It was a man's.
I was 100% sure it was a man pretending to be a woman.
Yeah.
I said I forgot something in my car. I'll be right back. I turned for the stairs. That's when the door pulled open completely with force. But I was already on my way down the stairs before I could see who opened the door. I got to the bottom of the stairs, and I heard in a suddenly deep, haunting yell, come back. I opened and slammed the front door shut behind me, and when I got to my car, I never felt more relieved in my life. I drove down the street, not looking back at that house. You should feel relieved. I blocked that number I was given as soon as I got home, and when I went online to report the Craigslist ad, it was already taken down. I figured I'd leave well enough alone. It was not my problem anymore, and I would never go back to that house again, nor concern myself with it. It's still definitely a haunting memory to look back and hear that voice as I was walking up those steps and behind that door. What would have happened if I wasn't wise enough to run away?
Don't think about it. Yeah. Not only do I blame the person for leading them into the trap, but he dismissed way too many red flags.
As a public service announcement to be careful on Craigslist or any similar websites. I happened to be browsing the for sale section of Craigslist trying to find a used laptop. One listing really got my attention, some Dell touchscreen laptop for $250. It looked like it was in good shape with very few minor cosmetic imperfections. I texted the owner, who introduced himself as Dave, and told me I could come pick it up that same night. He offered to meet halfway somewhere so that I wouldn't have to drive all the way out to his place. I live in the countryside, so he lived a solid 10 miles away, which would equate to a 20 to 25 minute drive. Since there aren't many notable places near either of us, we
It is
agreed to meet at a
dark.
7-Eleven
He's
parking
driving in
lot.
pitch black.
I got there at the agreed upon time, which was 10 p.m. sharp. I waited around for a few minutes, then I decided I was going to
I would
give him
find
a
that
call.
fishy too, that it has to be
But
a
just as I
very,
took my
very
phone out
specific
of my
time,
pocket
like
to
10
call
p.m.
him,
sharp.
his name came up
That
on my
tells
phone.
me that they're planning something.
He was calling me. I picked up, skipping the hello, and just said, "Dave, what's going on?" There was a loud background noise on his end, maybe from his driving. There was an initial moment of silence before he started talking. He said he wouldn't be able to make it all the way to 7-Eleven because his car was making weird noises and he didn't want to go too far from home. So he pulled over to the side of the road off some side street.
Of course he
But
did.
when we say side streets out here, we don't mean side streets surrounded by buildings or houses. Side streets out here usually mean roads with no streetlights.
Yeah, you mean
surrounded by
roads
forests or
that
flowers.
lead nowhere, have no
He gave some
foreseen
bizarre
area of
description where he
anywhere,
was. There was no
and
way I'd be able to find it ordinarily.
can barely
So I
even
had him
find a
send me
way
his
out.
location through his phone. He really was just parked on the side of some side road somewhere. I really didn't know if I was comfortable going at this point. It seemed way too suspicious.
Yeah,
I've
so
heard all
don't.
about those Craigslist horror stories before, and this seemed like the cliche build-up to one.
So don't do
Against my
it.
better judgment, I started driving over to Dave's location anyway. About 5 minutes of driving later on some completely pitch-black road, I eventually saw the reflection of someone's taillights parked on the side of the road. So it had to be him. I pulled up behind the car on the grass next to a large cornfield but kept the car running. I turned my headlights off for a second, and it literally became blackness in every possible direction. So I turned the headlights back
Cornfield?
on. Weird though, I didn't see any light from his car, not even the light from a phone. I called him again. He picked up on the first ring and said he had to run into the crops to take a quick piss, and to just get into his car so that
See,
when
this
he
is the thing,
stopped,
is
he
he's
could quickly show
diverting
his
every
laptop.
single time
He hung up
He's
the phone
doing
for
that-
me
he's
to get my
stalling.
response in.
to lead
This
him out
was too
further.
weird for me. I really didn't know what to do. I guess I figured I'd step out of the car and just wait behind the door for this Dave person to come out. He said he went into the crops, so I kept my eyes on the right side of the road by the crops. What a
I would just
strange
buy it
place
brand
to
new
have
off
any
of
kind of
Amazon,
exchange
even
other
if
than
it
a
was like
drug deal.
$500. Who cares? It's
It
better than
didn't
going
seem
out
right
here.
at all. I stood right by my car door for the longest time, easily 2 or 3 minutes. There was no way he was peeing for that long. It was starting to seem like it was time to go. I'd give him another 30 seconds, I figured. In the final moments of my waning patience standing there, I thought I heard brushing around coming from the crops.
That's when I would
I
turn
kept
around
doing
and
double
leave.
takes from one side of the crops to the other. "Dave?" I yelled. The brushing sounds in the crops faded away, but a crackling leaf or two from behind my car made me turn to see
I don't know
someone
why that
sneaking
scared
up
me.
on me from behind my car. Exactly what I feared would happen, but that didn't make it any less horrific as I jumped into my car and floored it before the door was even fully shut. I literally loved myself for thinking to leave the car running. If I had turned it off, I may not have escaped in time. Deep down, I kind of knew the situation was far too suspicious to be real. But really, do any of us ever expect things like this to happen? These
No,
things are only
but
supposed to happen in
things
horror
like this
movies.
help
You're
you
not
be
actually
prepared
supposed to
for it,
experience
you know?
them for yourself.
They show you a lot of red
I
flags
guess it
to
just
look
remains
for.
a story to tell friends and family for years to come.
Not a good one. This darn Fortnite ad keeps
It
coming
was
up for the
2011.
Nintendo shop.
I had to sell my old bicycle since I had recently got a new one. It wasn't a piece of junk, so I figured I could get a couple $100 for it. I had never used Craigslist before, so I had to have my son
Oh, so this
show me
is
how
a
to
seller
use it.
this time.
He basically put the whole ad together for me and showed me how to actually post it. He listed my phone number so that anyone who was interested could text or call me. The ad was up for a few days with no bites, and I was becoming impatient. I think after 3 days, I finally got a text from someone late in the day showing interest in coming to buy the bike. He got right down to it actually in his first text, saying he wanted to come get the bike as soon as possible. I told him he could come right now and included my address. He
Again,
said he'd be
specific.
over within half an hour.
Everything has to be specific.
I was happy to potentially be getting this bike off my mind finally. I was actually home alone. I don't fully remember
nice
what my
house.
family was doing. I think my wife and younger son had gone out shopping while my older son just went out with his friends. But you get the point, I was alone.
Oh, so this is like a grown
I
man.
was sitting in my living room watching TV. It was dark out by now when I heard a car pull up in front of the house outside. I looked out the window and watched as 3 grown men got out of the car. Right off the bat, that screamed overkill.
Yeah.
Why would anyone need to take along 2 other people to go check out a bicycle?
There's no
One of them rang
excuse
the bell.
to have that
They
many
had to
people.
have seen me standing by the window, so they knew I was there. So I opened the door, and the man standing in front of the other 2 reached out and shook my hand. His name was Jeffrey, or at least that's what he claimed. He was a big dude. You wouldn't have to look at him twice to
I'm
know
just
he
picturing
lifted
all this
weights.
right now.
He also had a really thick beard and deep voice. He didn't introduce his 2 friends, though, who were just standing behind him looking at me with blank expressions. They weren't exactly tiny men either. As I was mid-sentence telling them let's go around back, Jeffrey cut past me and into my house, saying, "Which way to the bike?" His 2 friends followed. The idea of making
You can't
sure
just
they
go
didn't
through
enter
my house,
was
dude.
clearly out the window. So I rushed in front of them and led them down the half stairs to the back door. Jeffrey and one of his friends came out back with me, while his 3rd friend asked me where the restroom was. I paused for the
They're
longest time.
casing the entire area.
How was I about to let this random guy go use my bathroom while I was out here with his 2 friends? But as I looked at his 2 friends who were staring at me, I submissively gave him directions to my bathroom. As that man disappeared into my house, I went to the shed to grab the bicycle. On my walk to and from the shed fetching the bike, all I was thinking was, what did I just get myself into? So I showed Jeffrey the bike. He started analyzing every little detail of the bike, like things no one should ever even think to analyze on a bike. For example, some of the spokes may have been slightly bent, or the reflector had scuff marks on it. I was so busy answering his questions and trying to defend the condition of the bike from his remarks that I didn't even think of that man who had supposedly been in my bathroom for almost 10 minutes. I told the 2 of them to keep checking out the bike. I'd be right back to fetch something. I went inside and checked both the bathrooms, the one on the 1st floor and the one upstairs. Both of them were empty, though. Just then, I heard people walking around and talking in my living room downstairs. Then, what sounded like Jeffrey calling my name. I heard them coming up the stairs. Jeffrey said something along the lines of, "We just want to talk to you. You can relax."
No.
When I say my heart was racing, that's not an understatement. I actually thought that night was going to be the night of my death. I quietly shut the bathroom door and locked it, keeping the lights off, however.
Now call the popo.
I dialed 911 on my phone and whispered as quietly as I could to the operator to send police right away, or I could be dead within 10 minutes. She wanted me to remain calm and to try my best to explain the situation quietly. After explaining, she told me it was good that I was in a locked room, and to wait there until the cops showed up. Footsteps came up to the bathroom door and stopped. Then someone tried the door handle. When they realized it was locked, one of them said in a low voice, "He's in there." I told the operator they found me. She said to stay where I was. After a few seconds of silence on the other end, there was a frighteningly loud bang on the door. And then another and another. They were trying to kick the door down. I screamed the cops are almost here, and then the kicking stopped. I heard them whispering to each other, and then I heard them stomping down the stairs.
Thank goodness.
I didn't leave the bathroom until the cops showed up. I was missing a lot of things, like my wallet, which was on the kitchen counter, a couple watches, my iPad, and of course, the bike that was in the backyard. The cops told me to just be grateful that I wasn't killed, which I was, but how could I be happy really after this?
And they have your wallet,
the cops
too.
said given that they were trying to break into the bathroom, they were most likely going to kill me, which scares the hell out of me to think about. That was the one and only time I ever used Craigslist.
Oh my god, dude. Sure, what, you know that feeling, right? When you're like, even though you know you're perfectly fine, you're watching these videos, it's not even dark, you're not alone, there's a whole bunch of people in the house, whatever it may be, right? But you still get that feeling. Like, when he said, if you noticed, when he said, yeah, thank goodness you're in a locked room, yeah, I looked over at my door, which is right over there, and I was thinking, I'm not in a locked room. So, you know, that, like, creepy, like, antsy, like, you know, just like someone's watching you, or like something's gonna happen feeling that you get from these videos. But yeah, wow, those are definitely very, very creepy stories. But again, it's just the fact that you know that these people know the flags, they know the signs, they know the stories, you know, the Craigslist stories. and yet they still continue to go forward. I mean, I know, like the guy said, whoever expects this to happen, right? But in this world we live in today, you have to be able to expect that. And it's really sad that you do, but you do. So, and even people my age, like 14 and even younger, have to worry about that, which sucks. But I mean, what can you do? But, yeah. That's about it for today, guys. 3 disturbing true Craigslist horror stories. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. And if you want to see more reactions of horror stories, or just whatever you feel I should watch, then feel free to comment down below. Thanks, guys. See ya.